Hello YouTube, Chris with CV Model Works. Welcome back to the garage. This is the first build video of 2023, hopefully the first of many. We're not going to waste too much time, we're going to jump right in. But first, I wanted to say a big thank you to Rob over at Time Machine Scale Models. Thanks for giving me the shout out last week. I really appreciate it, man. So let's get started on this build and see where we go. So we're going to start this one off going straight to primer. We did the bumper and the roof scoop off camera beforehand. Probably should have recorded the roof scoop. You probably would have got some laughs out of that one. Every time I went to glue it, it slipped out of place. It doesn't have any locating pins or dimples or anything. It just slides around on the roof. So the primer I'm using is Mr. Servicer 1000 from a spray can, a decanted, and I'm spraying through the airbrush. It's thinned about 30% with Mr. Hobby leveling thinner. And the front bumper, turning it all around, trying to get all the little angles and nooks and crannies. The hood just got one coat of primer, and then it got one coat of semi-gloss black. Wasn't worried about a perfect finish because it's getting a carbon fiber decal covering the entire thing anyway. So now we're on to our first coat of the green. This is TS22 light green. Again, decanted from the spray can. Thinned it about 20%. And this stuff sprayed and covered pretty well. The TS sprays do like to go on nice and wet, but I still like to start with a nice light tack coat first. That way it prevents any runs. Almost forgot to get all those little underside pieces there. Now the bumper, same thing as the primer, turning it all around, trying to get it into all those little spaces. So I let it sit for about 5 minutes and I'm on to the first wet coat. This paint's going on really well, not getting any runs or anything, and it's leveling out very nice. I'm just trying to move the airbrush at the same speed over the model so I get a nice even coat on it. And same process for the bumper again. So I let it sit for about 10 minutes and now I'm on to the second wet coat. I've seen some people recommend switching to up and down strokes to help get even coverage, so I thought I'd give it a try. It actually worked really well. I was worried that the green would have trouble covering the gray primer, but I did not need to worry. This stuff is covering great and leveling out great. And 10 minutes later, onto the third and final coat. We're back to our side-to-side strokes. Now we're really looking to try and get the best finish we can on this. and had to refill the paint cup. Probably should have made sure that was full before I started painting. This green actually turned out to be one of my best paint jobs ever, and kind of too bad I'm going to cover most of it with decals. And speaking of decals, here we go. So I'm starting with the hood decal here. We're using some micro set before we lay down the decal. All of these decals went down with no problem, except for this hood decal. It was going good at first, but I kept getting random air bubbles popping up into it. And even with the microsol, it had a little trouble conforming to that bulge on the left side of the hood there. I did also get one massive wrinkle in it, right about where that brush was. And that's pretty much my fault. You can see the wrinkle there. I also thought the carbon fiber weave was a little bit too big, so I kind of decided to just tear that off and use some Tamiya carbon fiber instead. So switching to the body decals now, these didn't have any issue. Starting with this big one on the left side, using micro set again. Just getting it lined up with the door handle where the cutouts are in the decal, and then it just needed a little bit of microsol over the wheel arch there where we wanted to wrinkle up. Other than that, no problem. All the rest of these decals went on great, and there was a bunch of decals. A little brand logo decal there on the rear bumper. They actually saved us on this one. All these brand logos I thought were all going to be individual decals, and it was one big piece, so that actually saved me a lot of time. Got some little ones on the side there, and then just more and more and more decals. It was actually kind of fun. It took me about 2.5 hours to get all these decals done, but I really enjoyed the process. Alright, back to the hood with the micro set, and we're going to use some Tamiya carbon fiber instead. It's a little bit more black in color as opposed to the one that it came with was more of a gray. And you can see right away it's just laying down better, like instantly. So I'm hitting it with some microsol, letting it sit for about 15-20 minutes and let it do its work. I did still end up with a couple wrinkles in it. They weren't as bad as the first time, but they are still there. I chalked that up to just my inexperience with large decals over weird shaped surfaces. It's just something I need to get some more practice at. Overall, I'm happy with how it came out. The wrinkles aren't very noticeable when it's sitting on the shelf. Right here, I'm just trying to smooth it out. It's just a paintbrush with a little bit of water on it, and just trying to smooth out all those wrinkles. Even tried a heat gun. But in the end, I'm pretty happy how it came out. So now we're on to clear coat, starting with our mist coat. And I ran out of my decanted paint, so I decided to spray it straight from the can. And I guess it's been a while since I sprayed from a can, because I forgot just how heavy this stuff sprays. So it got a little heavy in a couple spots. Luckily, I didn't get any runs. That would have really not been fun to have to sand that down and risk damaging these decals. I did one light coat and then I did 2 wet coats, and I got a pretty good finish out of this one. I did, however, get one spot right in front of the lift wheel arch, right behind the headlight on the fender, where I got like a little line of air bubbles. So I'm hoping I can sand those out and polish it back. But other than that, really happy with this one. So now I'm just kind of looking it over, making sure I got good coverage on everything. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out, so we're going to leave it here for now. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. And we'll see you in the next video.